Have been unable to cut off people on the interior. Clemson's inside game really wrecked him in there. Of course, not everybody has P.J. Hall.
Right.
But so Georgia Tech, they want to continue to defend the three effectively, but they've got to figure out a way to defend the interior a little better.
Here is Clark at the right. Franklin back for Kihei Clark. Foul line area, Gardner. And the Cavaliers on the board with Jaden Gardner. Here's a look at Josh Pastner's five. Terry on the floor for the first time as a starter since Marquette back in November with Sturdivant. Debo Coleman, who's been struggling more, and Rodney Howard as they try and get some continuity in the post play with the ACC table underway. And Terry on a strong drive and score. Tough shot to make for the Gardner-Webb transfer, Lance Terry.
It's interesting, Wes. Terry is not a guy who drives a lot. He's only got 10 free throw attempts on the year, but he's very quick and he's very athletic.
Caden Shedrick out in the corner. Three ball is good. Armaan Franklin, his 21st three of the year in Virginia, an early three-point lead. You see Reese Beekman returning to the Virginia starting lineup today. Missed Albany the other night, nursing a bit of a hamstring injury. Quick look inside, turned over, and the Cavaliers with the giveaway from Georgia Tech.
And the Virginia's not really looking to push, but they also can get down the court quickly when they want to.
Gardner off the baseline. Spins off and the rebound for Coleman.
Now Gardner is very dangerous in the mid-range.
Here is Terry.
Got to stay with Terry. He is a very good catch-and-shoot three-point guy.
Coleman had his pocket picked. Great play by Franklin. He'll get it in return. The transition three for Armaan Franklin.
Well, so see, Wes, that's my point. Virginia will get the ball and go, and if they're going to make threes in transition, might be a long night for the Yellow Jackets.
Josh Pastner hinted transition, offense, and defense were going to be critical today for his team. Sturdivant. Here's Coleman.
Virginia in their man-to-man.
Sturdivant the fall away. Tough shot to make for Kyle Sturdivant.
Well, he's got a couple inches and a few pounds on Kihei Clark.
Last couple of ball games, he's averaged almost 14 points. And wins against Alabama State and a loss against Clemson. Franklin, early threes, and that one spins away. And Howard and Gardner battle for it. Last touch.
The three well.
Yep.
So if he can get going, that's a key for the Yellow Jackets because Debo Coleman has deep, deep range.
19 of 54 on the year now is Coleman, the sophomore from Memphis. Clark, nice bounce pass. Gardner, the catch and score for his second basket.
Kihei Clark has been doing that for 5 years, and that's one of the things that Georgia Tech was very concerned about. They push out on that zone, they get a little too close to the guy with the ball, and they can allow some dribble penetration.
Howard, here's Coleman. Trying to find an alley. On the drive, had it knocked away. Franklin tried to make the save, punched out by Coleman, and it will stay with the...
Weston, you saw that Beekman has now come back in the game, and it's interesting when a guy's got a hamstring problem. Interesting to see how he comes back the second time after sitting down for a minute or so.
Vanderplas on the floor for the first time to spell Cedric, and Caparo. Francisco comes to the deck for Virginia as well. Here's Clark launching a three from the left. It's good. Kihei Clark's 15th three of the year is his first points today.
And that is the third three that the Cavaliers have made in this game, and that is a great sign for Virginia.
Average just under 7 a ball game coming into Atlanta. On the drive, Sturdivant. Foul lane. Howard got the roll.
Howard's done a nice job making himself available in there, Wes. Georgia Tech does not rely on him to do a lot of scoring, but around the basket, he can be very dangerous.
Lead cut back to three. Here's Beekman. Oh, what a talented player. Multi-dimensional guy, Dan. For Tony Bennett.
And he adds an element of speed that Virginia, I think, really needs to be successful.
On the drive, skip out. Vanderplas the three. Front rim miss, slapped out of there. Last touch by the Cavaliers. For the Jackets here. Sturdivant with Clark, defending for the Cavaliers.
Georgia Tech has done a nice job getting the ball inside that Virginia defense.
Left-handed look by Moore is short.
Now, the shot was close, Wes, but that was an extremely difficult shot, well defended by the Cavaliers.
McNeely, the young freshman, started against Albany the other night with the Beekman injury. He now plays with Reese Beekman. We're almost 8 minutes in. Out of a double team, here's Beekman on the drive, all the way to the glass.
And that's what Beekman gives you, Wes. He's got that element of explosiveness.
Well, and you can't forget he led the league in assists last year, Dan.
Well, Wes, he does so many things for Virginia. Might be one of the most underrated players in the conference.
He is 4th in the conference in assists coming in, and we get a foul. And
Here in the season.
missed by the Jackets. And Reese Beekman back on the floor with McNeely, Gardner, Vanderplas, and Armaan Franklin. So Reese Beekman essentially runs the offense, if you will, here for Tony Bennett.
That matchup zone is a very tough thing to play against.
McNeely guns and hits.
And Virginia now, Wes, they have converted 4 3-point baskets in the game.
They average 6.7 in every game this regular season. It's a good sign for Tony Bennett's club to come in here and knock down triples, Dan.
Well, it is, and I think this is a Virginia team, Wes. You know, they were making the three-pointers at a higher rate earlier in the year, too. I think this team really needs to make 9 or 10 a game to be at their optimum offensively.
Moore saves it on the floor to Coleman, 7 to shoot for the Jackets, who have a frenetic possession on their hands. Coleman on the drive, and we're going to get a charge call. Point lead for the Cavaliers. We're not quite to the midway point of half one. In the corner, Franklin. Vanderplas at the foul line. Quick ball movement. McNeely a catch and shoot, too strong. Gardner tried for the backside rebound. Ultimately belongs to Sturdivant.
The most interesting thing about that play, Wes, was how in the world did Vanderplas keep his pivot foot?
Yeah. Sturdivant on the drive. You know Kelly wants to launch.
Well, Kelly is, we say, he's a high-volume three-point shooter, but he's got the quickness that he can get inside, try to get to the line.
Sturdivant wheels around. Here's Howard, who had a couple buckets early. And now a Virginia foul out of the fray. Locker room with under 2.
Well, lots of times in a game, and you know your players, and sometimes a guy gets one foul, and he right away is going to get another one. And
look at Terry, a little sidestep 3, front rim miss, and McNeely the rebound.
Terry's a very good three-point shooter, but I think he's much better as a catch-and-shoot guy rather than off the dribble.
Right. Here's McNeely. Cavaliers with this 9-point lead, ahead of 9 to go in this half in Atlanta.
And you can't beat a zone just by keeping the ball on the outside. You've got to get some dribble penetration. Tony Bennett a little frustrated with McNeely. He had an open shot and he didn't shoot it.
Kelly to the basket and scores on Shedrick.
Well, Beekman, he gets this turnover because now the shot clock is running down. McNeely had a shot and didn't take it, and Shedrick's trying to get back. But we told you about how dynamic Miles Kelly can be. That's a 6'11" guy he's challenging, Wes.
An 83% free throw shooter. Best on the ledger for Josh Pastner, and he's got a 3-point trip, and Georgia Tech to within 6 now.
And Georgia Tech now with a little bit of pressure.
Virginia came in hitting just 26% from behind the three-point line in their 2 league games. They have opened up here, though, by riding a 3, and Franklin trying to add to it, cannot. And we're going to get another foul, and I think Shedrick has picked up 2 in just a change of the floor.
Trying to get position on the inside, but he just went to Shedrick and he blocked him out.
Shedrick comes off the floor. As we noted a moment ago, Gardner returns. Remember, he's playing with the foul. So in some ways, the Bennett logic worked.
Well,
He had a guy with only one, and the first guy picks up 2. Kelly had it swatted out of there.
Boy,
Heck of a play by Dunn.
Boy, Dunn, he's got some skills, doesn't he? He's fun.
3 to shoot. Terry drives, threw it up on the rim. Vanderplas the rebound. Virginia might not be as efficient shooting it here in the last few minutes, but they've kind of tried to tighten the screws up defensively. Clark a look off for Franklin. Long 2. Howard gathers.
That's a long contested 2, Wes, and I don't know that's what you're looking for against this Georgia Tech defense.
Terry fishes inside. Howard thought about it, resets, and misses.
think Howard was surprised that he was that open on the inside. He looked, there was nobody between he and the basket.
Quick pass for Clark. Now baseline. Dunn lost the handle on it. Last touch, Tommy Morrissey says. ESPN app. Clark got one of the two.
So it ends up being a good foul by Terry.
Smith, the runner, and an offensive foul, Davon Smith. That'll be his second.
If you're Smith, you've got to jump stop in there and either shoot the short jump shot or find an open man.
You see the turnover number's been doubled. 8 for Georgia Tech, 4 for Virginia. Beekman slashing in the hanger. Hit the side of the glass, saved it on his own board for Clark's three, and that will bounce off the back of the rim and over the glass.
Off substantially.
Boy, sure has.
And Georgia Tech, even though they have not shot the ball well, trying to navigate this tough Virginia defense, they find themselves still in the game.
Howard breaks about a 2.5-minute scoring drought with his third field goal.
2.5-minute scoring drought, West, and you're still only down by 5.
Yep. 6 for Rodney Howard, who starts his third straight game here today. He's been averaging 8 points in the last 2 starts. He's got better than half that here in the half. McNeely. Vanderplas the shot fake, back for Isaac McNeely. Hard dribble off the wing. Beekman with 2 to shoot. Franklin from the logo. Front rim miss. And Howard pulls it away.
Wes, he doesn't have to shoot the ball every time, but McNeely, I think, has to be ready to shoot every time he catches the ball.
Yep.
And I don't see that. He's like he's ready to make a move, but he's got to be ready to shoot the ball.
3-ball Kelly. Got it. Well, Miles Kelly's ready to shoot.
Absolutely. Miles Kelly's always ready to shoot. But just like that, Wes, Georgia Tech is right back in this game. And Virginia, facing the struggles they've faced over the last 5 games, they're just having a hard time putting the ball in the basket.
Here's McNeely, Beekman up front. Franklin in the corner. There's the Georgia Tech pressure. Gets it to Gardner and scores.
That is good, tough offense by Virginia. Haven't heard much from Gardner after a couple baskets early.
Yep. 6 for Jaden Gardner. The Cavalier lead is 4. Just ahead of 3 to go in the opening half. Howard. A series of pivots, and now Moore trying to find something. A scoop with the right hand, and he's going to get Gardner's second foul out of it. How about that?
That is a tough 3-point attempt. Deep in the corner there with somebody right in your face.
Clark at the post. Quick skip. McNeely another one. Nope. Slapped out. Franklin will run it down.
Well, McNeely may have missed that, but he was ready to shoot the ball that time, Wes. And when he's recruited as a 3-point.
For the Cavaliers. Vanderplas, McNeely, and there's Kihei Clark ahead of a minute to go. McNeely, a quick bounce pass. On the drive.
Oh, what a
around.
pass!
Caffaro couldn't finish.
Oh, my heavens, that was an outstanding pass. And boy, if you're Caffaro's size, you've got to finish that one inside.
Poppy missed the chippy. Here's the drive. Kelly couldn't finish. Franklin over his back, knocked it over the end line last. Midtown Atlanta. Georgia Tech's second home game of 3 in the ACC, and Smith travels. Oh, what a frustrating half for Davon Smith, Dan.
Well, and that's...
You see the shot clock, game clock differentials. We wind down this first half. Franklin, McNeely on the drive, bounce through for Clark's 3. Got it. Boy, Kihei Clark's got 7. Both the field goals are triples. Lead back to 8 quickly for the Cavaliers. Inside Howard, turned over to Clark with 13 seconds left.
Boy, that defense can just be stifling, can't it, Wes?
Here's Clark with 4. Kick into McNeely, 3 at the horn. Isaac McNeely and Virginia pour it on from behind the line in this first half. So Virginia, the 11-point lead. And here are the Cavaliers with Beekman. Back for Clark. Kihei on the drive. And Franklin, who started the game with a 3, tried to start the second half, and Shedrick, a tap, follow, and basket and is going to draw the foul on defense.
And he should.
Completes the three-point play. He's got 5 in the ball game. Virginia's opened up their largest lead. Here's a Clark steal and layup. Well, he terrorized Albany the other night in back-to-back possessions. And now he starts the second half with the pick and score. And the lead is 16 off Georgia Tech's 2 turnovers now in this second half. Coleman trying to right the Jackets, knocked away Franklin. Armand battles for it, tried to save it to Clark. Look out. Courtney Green and Lance Terry. Tony. Notice that Coach Bennett moved out of our way. There was no help from him.
Well, no help at all. He shows he still has quickness, though, getting out of harm's way.
Here is Clark trying to fish through, and that's a travel. Yep. Yeah. On the drive, there goes Sturdivant, offensive foul. Boy, the Cavaliers have done a good job of finding the driving lanes defensively.
Well, it's a great job by Shedrick.
It's an 8-0 run by Virginia to start this second half.
Wes, remember, it wasn't that long ago that this was a 2-point game.
And Gardner makes it a 10-0 run. His 4th field goal. Lead is 21 now for the Cavaliers. Coleman and Georgia Tech just trying to find some points here. They could stem this Wahoo tide that has opened the second 20 minutes. Most of it sparked by the defense. Terry tried to go to Howard, stolen by Clark.
Wes, and that's the way Virginia wants to play. It all starts with their defense, but when they can play defense like that and make shots, and that's what they've been doing, you just get an idea of how dangerous this Virginia team can be.
10 for Jaden Gardner. And the Cavaliers, the way, finished 12-8. Everybody saw the Cavaliers kind of in that middle group. They were fine, right? No, they were good. But
well, Wes, they suffered some head-scratching losses in the non-conference part of the season, and with the way, let's see Gardner miss one like that very often, but with the way the net works and the evaluations, if you have a bad November and December, it's hard to recover.
Yep. There's a drive by Kelly, and a foul called, and foul is.
You have to have some stealth about you.
Get all 4 of those North Carolina schools gathered and squaring off on Friday night, huh? Duke at State and Wake at Chapel Hill.
Boy, that's fun.
Here's Gardner missing the soft jump shot. Franklin the rebound, Georgia Tech.
And of course, Georgia Tech, they wanted to play in transition as part of their game plan, but now they have to.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do against Virginia. They get back very well.
Pull up Coleman. Bounces away, and Clark the backside rebound, and that whistle shrill you hear is from Tony Bennett, adjacent to us at the Virginia bench.
That's a Jim Larinaga-esque whistle.
All right, I was getting ready to say, we only have one other one in the league like that. It belongs to the coach of the Canes. Here is Franklin on the transition layup and the foul on McNeely. Javon Franklin is Atlanta. Of course, with the Hawks, who had the Lakers last night. Franklin missed the back end of the three-point trip.
And this is a Virginia team that we have out here on the court today, Wes, that started the season with the kind of offensive numbers that 2019 team put up.
Franklin, the miss of the 3. Of course, 0 on the floor. T.J. Clark.
Well, he made one of the most iconic plays in Virginia history in that Elite 8 game against Purdue when he didn't panic and found Mamadi Diakite for that unbelievable basket.
Right side 3, Miles Kelly strong, and the rebound for Franklin. 9 gone here in half 2, and the Jackets with a fresh 20 off of this. Strickland trying to find an outlet here on the dribble, and Howard can't hang on to it.
That's really a nice job by Vanderplas. He's trying to get back to Howard, but he keeps his...
Georgia Tech.
Vanderplas has been very active defensively today, Wes. He's only taken 2 shots, but he's been in the middle of everything. Of course...
That'll count.
That'll be his 3rd shot, and it doesn't go in the basket, but it counts because it's a goaltender. And Virginia has done a great job. Under Tony Bennett, you just look at their history developing players.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the players, they've got to work hard and they've got to be patient with things. But Dunn is a guy who has shown flat.
Against a Georgia Tech lineup that's downsized quite a bit too, because you got Franklin on the floor listed at 6'7", probably closer to 6'5".
Georgia Tech back to the zone.
Jalen Moore's a 6'7" guy, and those are the two largest jackets on the floor. There's a jump shot that's short from Beekman.
And Wes, I think they went back to that zone because Virginia did downsize so much.
Coleman playing now with 3 fouls. A little scoop on McNeely. Second field goal for Debo Coleman gives him 6 in the ball game.
Now, Coleman's just got a size and experience advantage in there, and Virginia didn't come to help.
No. Lead is 24 now for the Cavaliers. Dan told you, a 25-2 run essentially created this margin. Clark in traffic, skips, McNeely a 3-ball. Got it. Isaac McNeely's got 9. All 3 of them are triples.
And if you're Kihei Clark, you cannot make a better pass than that. McNeely didn't have to do anything except let it go.
And there's another Georgia Tech turnover. Beekman for Clark. Kihei to the basket. The scoop! 11 for Clark. Second double-figure game in his last 4. The margin is 26. Coleman calling for it, and he'll draw Beekman's foul on the reach. First on the reach. Franklin's got 4 assists. Here's a little pressure by Georgia Tech. McNeely looping ahead for Dunn. Clark, by the way, passed Mark Price for 10th in minutes played in ACC history the other night against Albany. Here is Sturdivant ahead for Kelly. That's going up and in. 14 for Miles Kelly, who's averaged better than 15 in the last 7 coming in. Shedrick front court and back for Clark.
And if you're Virginia, you don't want to get lured into a racehorse game at this point that creates a lot of possessions. But there you see Georgia Tech trying to push out. And the one person who sees it immediately is Kihei Clark. What an easy play and an easy basket.
Sure did. Inside out of a double team. Here's Kelly, another long 3. And McNeely the rebound.
Well, the Cavaliers are rarely in a hurry, and they're certainly not in any hurry now.
So a timeout taken by Virginia.
Oh, that's very good.
The polka dots.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I was looking for alliteration there, but no, that's very good.
Yeah, very good, right? You like that? Like the old Indiana high school nicknames, the Frankfurt hot dogs, right? The Speedway stations and PRs for Virginia telling us about Poppy, Francisco's nickname, being updated to Cafaro. And that is the way he prefers it to be pronounced, and we will oblige. Even though for a couple of years he's been Cafaro, Franklin fouled on a drive. And the foul going to be on Miles Kelly. Floor for the first time with McNeely, Clark. Shedrick has come back in after veteran trainer Ethan Saliba checked him out a moment ago at the bench. With Franklin, there's a 3 from Miles Kelly.
Well, he can really shoot it.
Kelly came into the ball game off the bench for the first time in 8 games today, went to work from a scoring perspective, and got Georgia Tech to within,
Well, they were within 2. It was 25-23 at one point in this game.
Yep.
And Georgia Tech actually had a shot at that point to tie or take the lead.
Yep. Cavaliers had a flirt in the first half, led at 11, and then went on a 10-0 run to start second half. Kihei Clark, meanwhile, has got 15 in the ball game, including 8 in the second half.
We showed Jimmy Miller a little earlier, the Virginia radio analyst.
Yeah.
And Kihei Clark just passed Jimmy Miller with that basket on the all-time Virginia scoring list.
Goodness. So on the drive, Franklin has it blocked by Shedrick. Javon got the dunk a moment ago with Shedrick, and now Shedrick returns the favor. And we got an offensive foul on Shedrick as Kelly steps in front. And we're going to take on the straight go, huh? Cavaliers have got Clark, Franklin, Shedrick, Murray and McNeely out there. Tough shot for Sturdivant, by the way, who's got a career high in his assist with 8. Rebounded by Shedrick. We're under 3 to go here, and Virginia trying to get to 10-2 and 2-1 in the ACC. And Georgia Tech, who started 0-4 in the ACC last year, looking at an 0-3 start with Miami here on Wednesday night. And there is a foul on Franklin, which will be 7. Virginia is going to post this win. Cavaliers are going to go to 10-2, and they'll be 2-1 in the ACC. That 25-2 run, Dan, the difference in the ball game.
Well, and that Virginia, they defended, and all of a sudden they got hot. And, if Virginia's going to hit you with a 25-2 run,